Bracha, Bruchim Habayim, everybody. Welcome to our second edition on the show that we started, the Israel Unity or Israel United show that we wanted to start talking about issues and giving a opinion from the Sanhedrin advisors and judges to the world to give the global community a perspective that reflects the Torah and the the way that the Hashem would want us to conduct our behavior in this world. Today we're joined by my good friend Rafi Farber here in the Golan Heights Nation of Ephraim and Sanhedrin Embassy, and we're here with Mr. Ulf Dievel, leader of the Nation of Ephraim, and Mr. Hannes Atashek from Templecoin.org. So we're here in the Golan, in the Golan Heights in Israel. Mr. Hannes is in Germany, and Mr. Ulf is in Croatia. So welcome, everybody. Rafi is the special guest because not every day that we're here with Rafi. So Rafi, why don't you let us know what is on your mind regarding gold and silver right now? What is on your mind regarding the war? How do you process what's going on? Why don't you let us know?
Well, in terms of the monetary sphere of this war, when there is a breakdown of monetary order, that generally means that people can't trade anymore. And when people can't trade anymore, they resort to violence. If you can't trade, you got to take what you need to survive. And as a monetary system gradually breaks down through inflation, people can't make a living. So they latch on to crazier and crazier ideas of what they should be doing, and they get more and more distant from reality. And we're seeing that in pretty much every sphere of human interaction now. And as it gets really bad, wars break out. So as we see, we get closer and closer to the end of the currency system, to the end of all gold and silver derivative. And currency is nothing more than a gold and silver derivative. That's all it is. As we get closer and closer to that, then things get more and more violent. We saw in 2020 how the powers that be took advantage of a minor disease to drive the whole world crazy, and it was a mental game. It was a lot of mental violence during that time, and also some physical violence. And now in 2023, we're seem to be getting closer to an actual global war, World War III, some people are calling it. It could turn into that. And it's just another symptom of inflation, because who funds the war machine? Who funds the Gaza Strip? It's all from American funding, from dollars, that allows aid to go in there and continue the war. And this is just another outbreak of the same war that's been going on for many, many, many years. It's just another round. It's not like we had peace and now we have war.
So do you think that there's also a injustice that is falling upon what is now being called the Palestinian people that is bringing them to this, or do you think that the righteous are being manipulated unjustly in their economics, or both?
I think we're all being manipulated. I'm not a friend of the Palestinian people, far from it, but I do recognize that they are being manipulated as we are being manipulated by the same people. They're stuck there in a tiny strip of land, and they're surrounded on two sides by us, on one side by Egypt. But yeah, we get blamed for it as if we're putting them under siege, as if they don't have a border with Egypt that could easily let them in. I mean, they're Arabs and they could go to an Arab country and just hang out there, figure out their lives there in Egypt, and without bothering us. That would make a lot of sense, but we get all the flack for it. But the point is that as the dollar collapses, once the dollar does collapse, this will be a totally different problem, and we'll have to take care of it ourselves, because we won't have dollar funding either. And so the Jews will be on their own, which is how it should be. We should not get any help from America. We should not get any help from any nation. We can do deals with nations, that's fine, but we shouldn't get any welfare from anybody.
For the same price, the whole world's not going to be getting welfare. In other words, every country is going to need to go back to the gold and silver standard. Do you think in one shot? Is that what's going to happen?
It's either that or they'll starve to death, because once there's no more dollar, that's the main derivative of gold and silver. So there will be no dollar, no money derivatives. There will only be money itself. So if you don't go back to gold and silver, you won't be able to trade at all. And you could choose that, but that's suicide. So you'll either go back to gold and silver, or you'll die. And choose what you want. That's what it's going to be.
Hmm. And what do you think about? Okay. Well, if you want to comment, go ahead.
Yeah, with our money system, with the U.S. dollar money system, the U.S. dollar money system was created with the Fed as it is now. So they opened up the office 1st January 1914, and then immediately went into the First World War, which I consider today a complete money war, because afterward, during that war, it was basically decided amongst the nations that they are going off the gold standard and use printing money to buy weaponry. So as it is today. So World War I would have been ended within 3 months, but because they printed money, it was prolonged for 3.5 years, which ended then in the socialist revolution in Russia and in Germany. And since then, basically, we are driven by this money machine from the US dollar. So 50 years ago...
So, one second, I want to say that during World War I, they had the train, which was able to bring soldiers much quicker to the front line than ever before. They started to invent technologies that can kill people much quicker than ever before. And a lot of the nations are trying to test all this. But also the economic element of all of this, you're saying, is that with all this fake money, they were also able to drive the war financially much deeper than ever before. In other words,
yes,
it's not just the
think
quickness and the
much,
technology and the weaponry, it's also
yes,
the debt system.
Think about how much a rocket costs. So today, let's say the cheap Hamas rockets are 10,000 a pop. So this would be today how many ounces of silver? So when you send now the bigger the Katyusha rockets cost like 200,000, and then one of the Iron Dome rockets to push them down is another 250,000. So one rocket launched and one intercepted cost about $500,000. So at $25 an ounce, think about how much ounces of silver you would have to spend for just one rocket. So 2,000 ounces to intercept. Now we had 5,000 rockets sent and intercepted. So if now the Palestinians, if anybody had to purchase their weapons in gold and silver, they couldn't wage war. It's impossible. It's only possible through the fiat money system. Only possible. And this is
Yeah,
my
the fiat money system doesn't create value. It only takes value from value that already exists. So every time they print money, they make people poorer. Right?
Yes.
They can only make us so poor until we say enough. And that saying enough is hyperinflation. So when it collapses, this entire war machine is going to break down, and it's going to be chaos, and we're going to it's going to be unsafe. But it's the necessary medicine to end this.
So, Ulf, I want to say that just like with the right wing always was wishing that the government should face the terrorism head on and stop appeasing the terrorism by paying off money for silence, buying time. So too, I believe that in a deeper way, when we're talking about destroying or restarting the way we think about money or value and throwing away the debt system and going back to proper gold and silver, I think that this is a big change that's going to be maybe painful and maybe a transition, just like the war right now in Gaza. But it is something that at the end of the day is it's an operation that we need to go through, and it is and it may be painful, but it's going to take out the cancer from the human species. I want to finish up, and then I would like
we have
Hannes to introduce himself and tell us what he thinks.
Yeah, I just want to finish. We are now 100 years after the hyperinflation from 1923. So what started with the opening of the Fed ended with the revolution and the completely destruction of money in Germany and Russia. And we are in the aftermath of that still today. And that all happened 100 years ago. So now what I experienced over the last years, we are going to the same point. Not just the inflation is now, the hyperinflation is now the US dollar. And when that bursts, it's civilization.
All right, Hannes, please introduce yourself. Tell us about Templecoin and, of course, your great efforts and your business plan in bringing all the gold and silver. So, please.
So, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure, of course, also to sit here with Rafi Farber. Yes, the point of problem was already cleared out. Whatever, when the credit system breaks down and there's no trade, and there will a point of time where trade is broken and people are not able to trade, and then you will need, of course, gold and silver that you can make a new system. So this transition, actually, what you said, Joseph Ederi, this is what we prepared with Templecoin. We prepared it already, that we said we have let's say a new money system, and also to make it break it down for companies that you can invest in silver-backed companies, and you can pay with silver-backed certificates, even same as the dollar started as a silver or gold-backed paper. So my English is not the best. I'm sorry, a little bit excited, but we prepared it a lot. So maybe Ulf, you want to take over, because I'm just happy to sit here with Rafi Farber.
Can you tell us about the gold bars that have recently become available on Templecoin.org? Can you tell us the silver bars? I'm sorry, the silver bars, the Templecoin silver bars, which is the newest product that you guys are carrying.
So let me have a look, please.
Okay.
This is a little bit early, but now what we really prepared with the Ephraim National Gold and Silver Trust is that we have a trading system which is silver and gold backed. This is that's a point, and so all the people can invest in a common trust, and out of this money is a silver Templecoin produced, which is not only a means of payment, which is accepted right now by several players, but it's, of course, a payment for the temple, because as we from the Nation of Ephraim, we are Bible related. We say it's all the prophecy is fulfilling, and it's, of course, about building the temple. Also, like this an end game against Amalek right now. Whether it's Palestinian terrorists or money thefts, so it's about.
Hannes, can you show us a picture of the gold bar, and also the silver bar of the Templecoin, and perhaps tell us how much it's value right now?
No, for example, if you want to know that, of course, we have the silver bar here. Let's give me a second. So it's 25 ounces, and no, the price is old. I'm sorry. Now it's 740 euro right now. Of course, it changes with the silver price, but it's 25 ounces of silver. This is the same like 100 temple coins, because as we say, it's fair weight, and so it has to be measured weight, fair, purity, fairness. And this is the thing you got with gold and silver. You cannot inflate it like the paper currency. So you have no theft.
So, okay. So I want to talk for a minute, Hannes. We'll get back to the silver. Rafi, what do you think about I remember the first Sanhedrin conference. We're now holding the fifth, which caught us in the middle of the war. And unfortunately, a lot of the guys didn't come because of the war. It changed a lot of people's plans here in Sfas. So in the first conference of the Sanhedrin Initiative, you came and you told us about how the way Amalek attacks the Jewish people is because the weights and measurements right before the psukim that talk about Amalek attacking the Jewish people, there's an issue of weights and measurements, and again, the dishonesty, the issues in din and emes bring issues to shalom. So can you expound on that and tell us a little bit, maybe more in detail, the sources that you referred to then, and maybe you have more to add in relation to what's happening right now?
Yeah, you're talking about Parshas Ki Teitze in Dvarim in Deuteronomy. It's a parsha of, I think, like 35 mitzvahs in it, and it's just mitzvah after mitzvah after mitzvah. And the Rishonim, the medieval rabbis, try to make a connection, a chain connection, as one leads to the other leads to the other. And Rashi does that with the first three, but Abarbanel is with all of them. And the final two mitzvahs of that portion are the second to last one is Evan Tzedek, Hin Tzedek, Yelachem, Ephad Tzedek, Hin Tzedek, Evan Tzedek. You have just weights and measures, whether it's liquid measures or solid measures. You don't have an inflated measure in your left pocket and an honest measure in your right pocket, and you're switching them when you want to rip somebody off. Honest weights and measures, and then that seems to be the end of the portion. But then right after that, it says, it says to remember what Amalek did to you when you came out of Egypt. What they did there was pretty graphic. I mean, if you go into the Midrashim, the Jewish tradition about what happened there, it's only hinted at in the text of the Torah. It's the word Vayisanev, and that symbolizes, or that hints at, from the term zanav, which is a tail, and you can guess what organ a man has that's sort of like a tail. It refers to sexual abuse, which is what we saw in this war. It's not like this is the first time that's happened. This is exactly what Amalek did to us when we came out of the desert. What enables them to attack? The fact that we don't have honest weights and measures, that we're ripping each other off, that our society is coming apart. That's really the first sin of a society that's starting to come apart. And it takes hundreds and hundreds of years for that sin to get deep enough to destroy the very fabric of a society. When theft becomes rampant, right? You can have a society where there are thieves. It can still work because you can punish the thieves and then you put them in prison, or you make them pay back their theft, and then society can keep going. It works. But you cannot have a society that's based on the idea of let's steal, right? Because then the society just comes apart. And inflation is stealing. That's what it has to be, because you cannot create value out of nothing. You can only steal value that already exists. So every time you inflate, you steal from all of society. And if a society is based on the idea of inflation, it is going to blast itself apart, which is exactly what we're seeing now. And when a society blasts itself apart, just like a disease invades you or makes you sick when your immune system is down, we're always fighting off diseases. We're very rarely sick because our immune system is always fighting off diseases. But when we are weak, that's when we get sick. So when we are weak and when our society is weak because we're based on theft, stealing from each other, that's when Amalek attacks. That's exactly what's happening now. And we can see as they attack, we come back together and we get stronger. I hope we can get strong enough to really fight off this disease. I'm not so sure we can at this point, at least not until the dollar collapses. But when it does, then we'll really be desperate and we'll really pray. And it will be God that saves us, not the United States, not any other country. It's going to be God himself.
All right, thank you for that, Rafi. I want to say that there's the reason why Amalek, out of all the nations, is destroyed and has no tikkun, unlike the other 70 nations, is because Amalek, anything that is positive, creates his initial active call to create a negative. So we see that right now, the Hamas, for example, what triggered them to make this attack, amongst other things, was the fact that they saw Israel trying to normalize relations in the Middle East with other Arab neighbors. And this is one of the things that trigger them to create more evil. And we see this in the Torah with the brothers of Yosef. When they sell him, they are triggered by his righteousness, which confirms the fact that he is the son that Yaakov wanted from Rachel, and they start to feel inferior, and they say, okay, we're going to act upon the more righteous Yosef gets, the more we want to sell him or want to kill him to get him out of the competition. The same thing as Yishmael. Yishmael, the reason why he starts to try to kill Yitzchak is because, again, till then he was the oldest. There was no competition. Hagar was the maidservant, but Avraham Avinu's only son. So he had all the respect that he wanted in the house of Abraham. And then at the last minute, Yitzchak is born in a miraculous way. And then when Yitzchak is older, he's trying to kill him. He's trying to kill him. He's jealous of him. Of course, we know in the Ten Commandments, jealousy is a very serious thing. It's not for nothing that jealousy is in the Ten Commandments. So when you have someone doing something good, Yitzchak wasn't doing anything to Yishmael. His existence in righteousness was enough of a trigger for Yishmael to decide to kill him. And that is the Amalek element. The Amalek element that needs to be destroyed before Mashiach is the element that doesn't say, okay, I'm going to try to live a good life. It's the element of hate. It's the element of the conclusion to every scenario is, I need to destroy the good in the world. And this is the reason why this needs to be destroyed without any remembrance, is because there's, as the world progresses into the Geula, into a L'Sheves Yitzhara, to settle the land, La'avdo L'Sharma, to protect and serve the Garden of Eden, you're going to have these elements of Amalek which are just there to destroy the world. And we see America is like Rome, is like Italy, is like Esau, and we see Israel is the children of Israel, Yaakov. We see Esav and Yaakov are, at the end of the day, twin brothers. Esav is the older brother. He has a blessing from Yitzchak, Achar b'chatichya, live on the sword. So he's here to protect his younger brother. Yishmael has tried to kill Yitzchak. He's trying to kill the righteous son. So he is expelled, just like him and his mother were expelled back in the day. And of course, the way I see this manifesting in real time in this world is literally, the reason we gave the soldiers popcorn to just watch the show. This is nothing new as far as the Torah is concerned, and of course, and what we're doing, and we also like to thank the nation of Ephraim for their support and the fundraiser they're putting together right now, is to go visit the soldiers, to give them as much encouragement as we can. We're not right now, not everybody is signed up to the military, but as much encouragement we can give to the police, to the soldiers, to give them tzitzis and to give them encouragement, to teach them Torah, and to clarify really the situation. I think that's the best thing we can do right now. And of course, that's what we're involved in. And thank you very much to Templecoin and to the nation of Ephraim and to all the advisors and all the judges that have been helping us in the last few visits and so on.
Maybe I can just add one sentence before maybe Ulf wants to add something. But before, let me say, of course, now while you are giving the soldiers the temple coins, the silver temple coins, that they can make this mitzvah after the war, which is a great thing, even to giving them their strength in morality, or whatever, however you want to call it. But I want to say, of course, this coins you gave them comes, of course, of our people paying the temple tax, the yearly temple tax, because we said we want to hold the commandments, we want to fulfill the commandments of the Torah, and our people pay the temple tax to you as a Sanhedrin initiative to build the Sanhedrin, because we say we want to have this court at this time more than ever. So, yeah. And of course, while we now have a new Jewish year, of course, we hope that in this year, the amount of temple taxes will progress in the thousands or maybe millions, because it has a lot of components coming with it. Yes. So we prepared a lot more behind that. And of course, I'm proud to be involved in that. But Ulf, maybe you want to add something also.
Yes. So where do I start? So first of all, this whole connection with Hashem. So number one, with Gaza, we have like two very significant issues, of the prophets concerning Gaza. You know, one is in Amos, directly in the prophet of Amos 1. You know, sins because of 3 sins of Gaza, not even 4. And it says there that basically the guys from Gaza, they're kidnapping people and are selling them to Edom. And this is what we're seeing now. So one of the very deep issues, you know, I think it's completely overlooked, is that Edom, the Pope Francis, so is the only subject of international law who recognized the state of Palestine 2050. Okay, so there is like this old age long, and the whole story, you know, of Edom and Ishmael, well, it goes back to Psalm 83, that they have a you know, covenant, so that they want to wipe out Israel from the world. And this is exactly what we see currently, you know, from Hamas, from you know, everything what is going on. You know, even the whole shebang, they started human fraternity. The Pope went to Abu Dhabi, signed a contract together with this imam for basically the citizens of the world. Now they are call on the name of Hashem, but the word Israel and Jerusalem does not appear. So the second portion where Gaza is named, you know, is in Zechariah 9, which is in direct connection with the return of Ephraim, you know, who's coming then into the hands of Judah. So in there it says that basically the meat, you know, the evil, the violence of the Philistines or the Palestinians are taking out of their mouth, and then they will become at the end like a brother unto Judah, and they will serve the same God. So this is why I believe, you know, this campaign, what is going on now after everything what I've seen, is now really, you know, let's call it Gog and Magog. You know, there is a lot of discussions. Okay, did already Gog and Magog start? You know, some, of course, the Christians, they wait for Armageddon. And I say, yes, we are really at the very, very end. So what was here our intention? So long before, the whole issue with the financial system, I worked professionally on this since 2009. So since 2009, I know that our financial system is like on the verge of bankruptcy. And every time I thought, okay, you know, we had the Lehman Brothers issue, you know, then we had 2011. And I always thought, okay, now the crash comes, you know, now the crash comes, you know, and it never happened. They really pushed this. They pushed this, you know. And now after knowing now what's happening and seeing what's happening with Israel, I think, okay, now this is really the last push. So why did they build up the industrial military complex? Because people believe in the Bible, including the United States of America. Every president swears on the Bible. And according to my understanding is America prepared for this Armageddon, for the last battle. This is how they built up the whole military industrial complex. Because when you go now to the administration, hey, we have the best cooperation of Christians and Jews since ever. Meaning all liberal communist Jews with the Roman Catholic Church. This is what we're experiencing now. Because we are subject to the financial order, to certain issues from the church as Germans, you know, we were born Germans. I followed up on some issues and we said, okay, what we have to do is a private initiative, which is not based on the normal trade laws, meaning when Hannes here says, okay, you know, we built a system and it's an alternative, we are not a financial institution. We are not professional investment guys. We are not a bank or anything. We are an association of private people, of humans, okay, who said at one point, all right, the Torah is true. So the Torah is the real, true basis of our conduct, our terms of service. Okay, so because we're not Jewish, and we count ourselves to the children of Israel, we said, okay, we organize this under the name Ephraim, the nation of Ephraim. So when somebody says today, okay, I'm opening up, I would like to become part of the Ephraim National Gold and Silver Trust, he has to first sign that he accepts the Torah and the prophets as his personal terms of service. Yeah, and through our cooperation we have now, that say, okay, minimum, what you have to understand, okay, you have to accept the 7 laws of Noah as your personal code of conduct. Yeah, because this was the whole basis that we said, okay, all the laws of the world, well, they are all fake. The news are fake. The war is real. I know that. Yeah, but the everything how the story currently is presented is a big sales show for climate change, for weapons, for the geo engineering, for all kinds of stuff, social engineering, and so on. And we said, okay, our target is to go exactly as Jeremiah says, 31, that there will be a time that the house of Israel, the guys from the nations, and the house of Judah, the Jewish people, they will make a new covenant. So from our perspective, what we did, during the week, okay, we created for our community, which are in the meantime roughly 2,000 people who signed up. Now over 1,000 people have now our identity card who accepted these terms of service. We said, okay, we stand number one with the Jewish people no matter what. So first of all, why? Because we are standing with the Torah. So the Torah is true. Now, when you take the Torah for truth, okay, then the first issue is, of course, well, you have the tree of life in the middle of the garden. Next to is the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And then there is a river going, and then there is a gold. So the gold is, since the Garden of Eden, one of these issues. Okay, how do you get it? So the whole concept of being what is true and what is real is, is determined already at the gold. And we, insist on our religious freedom, that we as a community who believes in the Torah, that we are allowed to, number one, organize ourselves. So this is why we created now certain groups, communities, businesses, companies, and so on. One of it being Templecoin org, one of it being Ephraim National Gold and Silver Trust, and so on. And then within the framework of our religious freedom, use God's money, and that is gold and silver. Now, interestingly, Benjamin Netanyahu, he, in a speech to the nation, to the people of Israel, reference to Isaiah 60, 18 or so, where the word Hamas, of course, translated into violence, that the violence will cease from the land. Now, when we go now into the Isaiah 60, okay, 1 or 2 verses before, it says, "And the gold and silver will come to you." Yeah, so the gold and silver of the world, the wealth of the nations, has to come to Jerusalem. It has to come to the Jerusalem.
I want to point out that first of all, perfect. What you're saying is amazing, and I really hope that many, many more people from the nations join your group, join the right side of history, understand that this is a war between hate and they should understand what Amalek really is. They should really, really understand what pushes Amalek and how Amalek works. We have in the Torah also Ir Anidachas, which is a city that is sentenced to death, a full city. Everything inside has to go because the corruption is so horrible that there's no fixing it. And we see that the Arabs, our neighbors in Jordan and Egypt, And throughout the whole Arab nations, they all understand this very, very well. That's why not one of them wants to take the Palestinians in, even though they know that it's either that or they will probably all be killed. But they understand better than some of the Jewish people that this is an ir hanidachas. There's a point of no return sentence right now on these people. Now, I want to say what you mentioned about Bibi Netanyahu.
Yeah.
Now, Bibi Netanyahu is going around, and of course, every politician has his political entourage and his advisors that tell him, "Oh, we need a picture with you in the shul. We need a picture with you blessing the soldiers. We need this. We need that." So today, it's very hard to see the difference between what's really pushing this guy. Is he really fighting the war of Hashem? Is he going out to the soldiers holding a Torah scroll, screaming, "Shema Yisrael, here is the time to destroy Amalek," as it says in verse so and so, and this is the commandment. And we spoke to the chief rabbi of Israel, and he said that this is the commandment that is applicable today. Is he looking to see where is my Sanhedrin? Or is he just saying, "Hey guys, this is a real war. This is not just a mission. This is not just a campaign. This is not just an exercise. This is a real war"? So my real question is, I know that on the ground, because me and the guys here from the embassy, we go out, we went out last night, and we went out earlier with Rafi as well. We are doing our job to try to see how we can uplift the soldiers on the bottom. And we know that the spirit is very, very high. And we know that many soldiers are taking upon themselves mitzvahs. And we also know that many soldiers that are not Jewish from the nations are starting to be extremely interested in studying Torah and get closer to Hashem. We met a few guys over there that are Arabs for sure, Druze or whatever, and they were talking, they had a kippah on, and they were talking to us and trying to get involved as much as possible. And I respect that, and I really feel that a lot of the soldiers on the ground are going to be going into this war, and they're going to be doing it for the sake of heaven, l'shem shamayim.
Yeah, we have no leaders, but we do have good soldiers.
Yes, but my real question is, what is the story with Bibi? What is going through his head? Did he understand once and for all that he made a mistake and that he needs to recalculate the way he thinks about life? Is he ready to speak the same language we speak in the Middle East, the language of faith, the same language that Hitler, Hitler saw people 5 generations assimilated. He picked them up with a tweezer and he put them straight into the gas chamber. He reminded them where their source is from. He reminded them who they are. It didn't matter if for 5 generations the guy was running away to the hills from his identity, from who he is. Did Bibi realize who he is, or is he still thinking that his mind and his conclusions and his strategy is still what's going to make it or break it? That's the $1 million question I really want to know, and I really hope that there are rabbis and.
Can I answer you this? Very short, very short. Okay, do you think that Israel should be a kingdom or should defend our democracy?
A kingdom,
my Torah, I don't know what your Torah says, but my Torah says that we should be a kingdom of priests, a holy nation. That is what I should speak to the children of Israel. So, dear children of Israel, Rafi, Yossi, and so on, you are the holy nation. You are the holy kingdom. So does Bibi talk to this? No. He's talking to his constituency, and he's working, and he is a politician. I showed you here my magazine. I'm writing now 25 years. I know what's going on with Bibi. So I should put this shot in the camera.
Yeah. Go ahead. Show us the magazine.
So
it's a picture. It's literally a picture of Bibi Netanyahu together with Arafat.
So this was one of my first magazines, my Muslim magazine. I published from Jerusalem, so the publishing company is it's 100% my company. So it's from November 1998. So it's 25 years ago. So here's Bibi. Arafat in the meantime is dead. Now Bill Clinton. It's like totally hilarious. Okay. So my mother gave me a picture album for my 35th birthday, 25/5/2002. And Bill Clinton, in all the 26 years since then, nobody knows where Bill Clinton was on the 25th of May 2002, you know, in the all Epstein scandal and so on and so on. So everything what got out here, you know, what's with Arafat, you know, then with Mahmoud Abbas and the connection to our German SPD, the connection to here Jordanian over the, I mean, I know exactly what's going on. So he's a politician. I really want to show you now also, you know, when I said, okay, like, listen, guys, Torah from Zion and word from Jerusalem since 25 years, there was a time I had hair, you know, so I was looking sharp. So in the meantime, you know, so there is a big issue.
I also wonder why you asked that so much, Joseph, because I know that the original Rebbe Schneerson, I thought he said to Netanyahu, and of course it's amazing that Netanyahu is so long time still on the surface of a politician side. It's a really amazing story. And when you ask yourself, why is that? Then I remember Rabbi Schneerson was saying to him in the 90s, hey, you are the one, you have to give the keys of your office to the Moshiach. You are the one to give so.
Yes. Right, but you know what's interesting? What's interesting about that interaction with the Rebbe was the Rebbe didn't say it. He didn't say that it's going to happen because Bibi understands it or because Bibi is on the right side.
Yes.
He didn't say that Bibi. He told him, "You're going to give the key. Your job is to give the keys to Mashiach." In other words, if Bibi was Mashiach, you know, then he wouldn't be giving the keys to Mashiach. And unfortunately, on today, we have a very ignorant world. A lot of the supporters of Israel think that Bibi is, you know, Mashiach, okay? Because they see one Jew, they think he's everything. You know, they think they got the whole picture. And this is where I want to say that the difference between a person like Bibi and a person like the Rebbe is that when the Rebbe opens his mouth to talk divrei Torah, words of Torah, the Rebbe is talking with a direct line of 9 generations going back to the Baal Shem Tov. The Rebbe is talking words that every single word is calculated and is part of the oral tradition, the written tradition, the Kabbalah, the Hasidus. When a person like Bibi Netanyahu could go and take a walk with his puppy in the morning and have a great epiphany, you know, while his dog is picking up his leg, that's not exactly how the prophets in the Jewish people received prophecy, okay? So we need to understand the difference between a Jew that is his whole life and everything that he does, every word that he says and every step that he takes, every time he blinks his eyes, it is all as much as possible to be in direct line of what all the Jewish people have been sacrificing their life. And then you have other Jews that are Jews by name. They're Jews by name, but you have to understand the difference between those who are carrying the torch of the Torah and bringing it and have the power to manifest the redemption in this world. And then you have Jews that's their name, that God put their name on them. So we have to really understand that for those who really want to manifest the Geula, it needs to be rooted in the Torah and in a realistic way, not just my opinion, I think it's right. We have to not kill and not steal and follow the 7 laws, not because we think it's a good idea, but because Hashem said so. So even when we get mad or even when we don't think it's a good idea, we still listen to Hashem because it's not about us. It's about Hashem. All right, closing remarks, Rafi, like Hashem.
Closing remarks, well, I'll say something controversial. I think that the country for the first time ever is in a mental state where theoretically, if thousands of Jews were to go up to Har HaBayit tomorrow, or to go up to the Temple Mount tomorrow and start building a Mizbeach, start building an altar to, in preparation to get the sacrifices going, I don't think most of the Jews in this country would object to that. I think we are at a mental position where if that were to happen, it's like, well, we have no leaders, we have nobody directing the war effort, we have no direction here. We may as well end this war by rebuilding the temple. And most of the Jews in this country would be okay with that, even many of the leftists, because they just want to see something happen and some vengeance be taken. And the scariest thing for Arabs would be for us to rebuild the temple tomorrow.
Yes. Rafi,
please,
I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm totally with you. I'm totally with you. So the big issue, here, Adam asked me, hey, if the temple is coming, through the clouds tomorrow, who would be going in? So the big issue, of course, why is there no temple? Because 1967, when the IDF went on to this, the rabbi said, okay, the problem, we don't want to start World War III. We want to keep the status quo, and they handed it back to the Waqf, to Jordan. And since then, they said, okay, the Moshiach has to work it out. So now,
no, this is incorrect.
So now this whole thing with the board. So now we are the guys who took really practical step and said, okay, all right, we currently there is still some issues there. Okay, some issues there, but we start with the temple coins. Now, the how can I say, the negative results, or the negative commentary, or the negative impact that we had, that we out as non-Jews went out to our fellow Christians, politicians and so on, and said, listen guys, we want to make peace in Israel, we want to build the temple, and we come to a conclusion. I mean, this resulted in a series of anti-Semitic attacks and so on and so on. So the whole temple issue it's absolutely freaking unique. Yeah. So now I am not on this side where I say, okay, Bibi and all these guys, they are Jews in names only. It's not true. They are truly Jews. Yeah. The problem is that they are currently bound by this new world order, by this democracy, where you have to tolerate every faith. Yeah. So meaning, Rafi, you're also U.S. citizen? Are you
Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah. So basically, you guys, you are U.S. American citizens. So it doesn't matter what you believe, okay, because the belief or your religion is completely unattached from your citizenship. Yeah. So, and as a citizen of Israel, you have the same rights. As a citizen of Germany, you have the same rights. Okay, so.
Well, what's the point? Just try to keep the.
Well, the point is, that it has to come out from the people. Currently we are talking about religion. We talk, are you Jewish? Okay, everybody can become a Jew today. You just have to convert or pay a liberal gay rabbi, so that I get a stamp and I can come. So everybody can become a Jew today. Everybody can become a Christian. Everybody can become a Muslim and join Hamas. And there are hundreds of doing this. Okay, so everybody can convert. Why? You are, from the citizens. But we come from the say, I said, no, listen, guys, it's for the children of Israel. They were giving the commandments. So our target is to get as many people as possible from the nations, from outside, to join us, and then push the Jewish people and say, well, wait a second, okay, are you now with the Torah now or not? And then over the time it will come out, okay, why did people something? Bibi was the darling of the evangelical Christians in America. So this is a much larger supporter group. There's like 60 million of them than the liberal Jews. And they openly said this, like Ron Dermer or something, that they literally said this. So now the target of this administration from Bibi and so on should go much more towards evangelical Christians than to liberal Jews, just because of the numbers. So for a politician like Bibi, he gives a fuck. He is bound by his policies. And he's bound by the laws of the New World Order. But for the Jews,
well, that's why the Sanhedrin is so unique, because we're not locked into the Sanhedrin is so unique, and the advisory board and the judges that we plan on filling all the seats. We should have 70 judges and 70 advisors,
yes,
as much as possible.
And
the weakness is
we
that
do
we're
not
starting.
have to wait. We do not have
Right.
to wait. We do not have to wait for permission from the government. Why? We can do this as we did. We are in a contract world, meaning we make a contract, a new deal, as we do, and then we start doing what is right according to the Torah. Then everybody can see, said, oh, okay, yes, it's possible. It's possible.
So even Itamar Ben-Gvir, which entered Israeli politics, many say that because he entered Israeli politics, now he is much more weaker because, again, he's bound by all kinds of regulations and laws and stuff. So Be'ezrat Hashem, the Sanhedrin initiative will be successful. Those who recognize that see this video right now and recognize exactly what we're talking about and understand the difference between this pluralism, Judaism concept, which is getting more and more faded and unclear, more and more politically aligned with the norms of today and less relevant to reality of the Torah itself. You know, how many rabbis were shocked to realize that, you know, there's actually a commandment to destroy Amalek and it has to literally happen, right? How many rabbis were shocked to realize that there's a physical commandment to establish judges and police in the land of Israel? How many rabbis are taking the commandment to establish a Jewish king seriously? Or are they just thinking about it in dreamlike exile state? So we really need to see the manifestation and realization that the Torah, if the Torah is true to you, is it real? Are you ready to bet your life on it? And are you ready to support the Torah in every single way? Be'ezrat Hashem. Hannes, closing statements, please.
Yes, of course. In my opinion, Israel, the state of Israel is a company, in my opinion, and there are trade law, secular law, what kind of ever law, and there's also the religious freedom that we can do our stuff and also organize ourselves within this trade law. And this is what we done. We organized already like this, and we are ready to collect more and more people inside. So because as bigger as we are, then we can, of course, solve the issue with the Temple Mount also. And maybe I close also with a statement. I guess it's Joel where it said Ephraim and Judah, they will announce a common leader. They will Hosea 1. They will announce a common leader between them together. So I wonder all the years why the Jews did not, or even the Chabad, why they don't go to the Temple Mount and why they didn't request it. But this is what we want. We know the secular law. We know how to solve it, and we want to solve the issue because we want to have the Temple Mount, of course, in the hands of the heritage. Let's say like this, and this is what we stand for, and it was a lot of times a problem for us of distribution, our content, because we are not like a multi-million-dollar companies. We are just small guys, and we have not so much big distribution. And of course, in secular Germany, we had very much enemies because. You are Christians, and they really try to destroy us. And I'm still here in Germany, and we want to, because what we say also, this is prophetic times. Also, like the endgame investor says this sometimes. Also, I hear it, and of course, the story is coming to an end because after 70 years, Israel should be a kingdom. After 70 years in the Torah, and since then they didn't get a real government, or they counted now the fifth time. So because I guess we are already in the time of the kingdom. We are already in. Moshiach is already around. Sometimes more close than some people think. So, and we are already in the times of the kingdom. It's just a way to take the message to all the people in the nations, because there are millions who are searching for that truth, but they don't know how to find it and how to grasp it, you know. So I guess also this is the reason why a lot of people in the gold and silver community love Rafi Farber also, because he's a Jew and talking a little bit from a Torah standpoint also. And so I just want to say I'm thankful for this meeting here together, and I would love that we can make this maybe sometimes more regular, because as you feel maybe also there are a lot of themes attached, and we have many more to discover. We prepared a lot of more, and then in the moment we can go in a regular stream about building the Sanhedrin, building what we want to build and announce this to the people, then we can really start to grow. And I guess this is the solution what the world is waiting for right now. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Hannes. Thank you very much, all. Thank you very much, Rafi. And Be'ezrat Hashem will have many more meetings with Hashem's help, and we'll try our best to spread the word of Torah to the world. Be'ezrat Hashem, all those who want to join Rafi, where can they meet you?
You can find me at the Endgame Investor. Just look it up on any search engine, Google it.
All right, the Endgame Investor. Check out Rafi Farber. He has silver and gold, all the markets, all the information you need. Templecoin.org, of course, Hannes with us. If you need your gold and silver and you want to donate to the tikkun of bringing the redemption here in the Holy Land, check out Templecoin.org. Get your coins, get your bars. Join the revolution, the redemption, the revolution. And of course, if you want to join the nation of Ephraim and you want to align yourself on the right side of history and get your head straight, as they say, then definitely check out Zion577.com, where you can find the Ephi card. You can sign up to become a member, and you can join the Torah Club as well, and many, many other things. We have our great series still available for free, the Torah Restoration, where we have over about 25 videos of explaining what's a Jew, what's a Noahide, what are the nations, is Kanye West anti-Semitic? We started off over there. So we go through all these things. So anyone who wants to join the right side of history, please check out mnglobal.org as well, Mashiach News Global, where we're pushing the Sanhedrin initiative, and we're taking humanity to the next redemptive level. So thank you, everybody, for joining us. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
Can I put one last thing, one last advertising? So for anybody who is out there, who is in the same type of YouTube, whatever, social media activity, has a YouTube channel, is working with the topic of Israel Torah, he should go get in touch, with Yossi. So to arrange, a more vivid meeting. So when this is now Israel United, I thought it was, Israel Ulf. This is like IU. So Israel United. So we should give, voices. So when you are out there who is in this type of work, restoration, come on the show. Come on the show. Let's talk about it.
If anyone has information they believe aligns with the Torah way, and they would like to have one of the Sanhedrin advisors or judges host them on our show, Israel United, definitely be in touch with us, and we'll be happy to talk to you and figure out what kind of message you want to talk about, and maybe bring out a joint message, because right now the world is in great darkness, the darkness of information, and a double darkness. Some people don't even understand how deep the darkness is, and this is a time of the awakening. This is the second chance that humanity is getting to wake up. I think we had it a few years ago with the corona. People had a moment to wake up. And now we have another level of realization, the Amalek syndrome that we're dealing with right now, another level of waking up and reality check. And Be'ezrat Hashem, Hashem will keep leading us, and we'll keep eating popcorn and watching the beautiful show. So thank you. And of course, if you guys want to join the show, let us know.